Hello, I'm Jelelle Awen, and I am hosting today. It sounds good. Okay. I'm hosting today a guided meditation, and in the guided meditation, I will be introducing you to your Ascension Chakras, and also your inner protector. So this is kind of a vast place we're going to go today. So some of it you will feel very clearly, and some of it may be a little more murky for you or something brand new, or you may feel all of it very clearly and see it and hear it and feel it quite deeply. And I'm not seeing any comments, Kalina, so are there any? No, not yet. Okay. I'm just seeing if I can see comments because last time.
There's a woohoo from Gabriel.
Okay, I can't see that, and then I can't see the video on my iPad. 1 second. And I am hosting today. Hold on. Tech issues. Okay. I'm just wanting to be able to see the comments, so I have to look at my iPad to be able to see them. Oh, maybe I can see them this time. Yay. There's 2 comments, Kalina?
Just from Gabriel.
Okay. Okay. Thank you for bearing with me as I figure this whole piece out. So basically, this is happening today thanks to Nicole Gibbs, who runs a group called Awakening Mass Meditations. And a couple of months ago, she invited me to do a meditation for her group. And I was honored to do that. And she had been watching my Deepen series where I do 33 guided meditations. Maybe Kalina could share the link to that, the playlist. And those really, if you feel something really open out from today, I really encourage you to take that series in, because that is really, I showed up through the whole month of January every day and offered another piece. These are all pieces of a bigger work and process and paradigm that we call SoulFullHeart. So this is one of the frequencies, which is working with the chakras above the main 7. So that's one aspect of it. And another important aspect of this work is that inner protector. So, yeah, okay, I see comments. That's great. And Kalina is responding to those comments. And yeah, I'll be tracking them as well. Probably not during the meditation because we will all be kind of going inward. But in the meantime, before I get started on the meditation, if there's anything that you are wanting to ask about or comment on connected to the Soulful Heart process or the meditation that we're going to do, you are welcome to do that. And I will also be giving you time afterwards to share about what you experienced. And that actually is my favorite part of these live streams. I didn't get to do that in my video series because it was recorded. So I would go back and I would see the comments about this opening out or that opening out, and I would respond to them. But I didn't get to hear from people in real time what just opened out for them. And I have to say that is my favorite thing. Whether it's in a live stream or it's in sessions, it's that discovery process of what opens out. So my meditations, I feel, are unique because they really bring you inward into this new discovery ground through this lens of aspects or parts of yourself. So as in my Deepen video series, you're meeting different tones and frequencies and aspects of yourself from this life, what we call the 3D self, and also from other lifetimes and timelines. So that is quite a vast and deep experience. So that's an aspect of what we will be going into today in this meditation. But as I mentioned, the other aspect is the Ascension Chakras. And I find that it can be really helpful to connect with them, to start having a consciousness of them, especially with so many ascension energies coming in right now. Cosmic energies, energies from the sun, energies from Gaia, energies from the moon. I mean, you name it. We're just being flooded with this beautiful light that is really meant to raise our frequency. When I work with people in energy sessions, what I find is that often there are a lot of codes and other things sort of hanging out up here, which is where we'll go today with some of these ascension chakras. So the codes are hanging out up here, just sort of waiting to come in. And activating these chakras helps with that. But it's also the negotiation with this part that you'll meet today called the inner protector. And I've met hundreds of them now. And they all seem to have this sort of push-pull about awakening and ascension. And in one way, they just cannot wait to go to the next level and bring in these codes and activate light body and all of that whole process. But in another way, they're hesitant and fearful and resistant. And it's understandable because this life, there are traumas and woundings and things that you experienced that invalidated and didn't initiate you into your bigness. So your protector feels all of that. It knows what parts of you are grappling with and struggling with and still stuck in. So the other piece, of course, is the soul karmic experiences, such as persecution, things that diminished you as a soul, things that told you you weren't allowed to express your soul gifts. It wasn't okay for you to be big. So all of this is going on inside. It's often a cacophony of mixed and polarized feelings coming from different aspects of both soul and self. So in this cacophony of reactivity, there's this seed often of desire to grow and to awaken and to ascend. And that's what we want to water, is that seed. And we do that through bringing in these kinds of energies that we'll feel today, these divine frequencies, to water that seed, but also to begin the negotiation and the conscious negotiation with that protector who becomes, it shifts from a guard. You might see yours as armored today, for example. You might see yours with a weapon. They might feel quite guarded, like, what are you doing here? That might be the energy. But as the more you work and connect with this part of yourself, it really shifts to being more of this guide and becomes what we call the gatekeeper more and more, which is giving you free fluid access to all of the lifetimes and timelines in your soul that you need to see and explore and experience. So I just want to say hello to everyone joining. Thank you for joining me. And I believe now, unless there's any last comments or anything, that we will go into the meditation space and see what you experience. And for sure, I will make space afterwards to go into then your sharings about what you experienced. So thank you, Nikki. She says, I'm glad I tuned in. I tuned in to tune in. Yes, that's wonderful. And we will tune in now. So go ahead and close your eyes. We'll begin to bring your focus inward. To start indeed tuning in. And just notice, as you start tuning in, if there's vibrating energies or feelings going on for you, what those are. It's amazing how just a moment of going inward see and feel white light around you. It's pure and supportive. Especially right now. We're in the middle of 3 supermoons, and the third one is coming up with the equinox. So there's a lot of energy swirling around, wanting to bring us into balance. So we'll begin to connect to those energies by orienting to what we call, it's been called the stellar gateway chakra. I also call it your personal sun. It's about 2 feet above your head. If you stretch your hand out above your head, it's the tips of your fingers. Chakras to me look like vortexes. You can also see them as flowers, lotuses, whatever works for you. This personal sun chakra, you can see it as a sun that's shining down on you. It's directly connected to the great cosmic sun, where so much of the sacred masculine activations come from. Take in how shiny and bright this chakra is, or is it more dull, kind of clouded over? Begin to swirl some white light in there. Swirl it around. You can even move your hand around if you want to. Or if you have selenite or something like that, you can kind of move it that way. As you're doing this, you might see some sacred geometry. You might see numbers, images. These are the codes that want to come in. Codes can feel kind of, what does that even mean? But you might see something specific here that's meant for you. The personal sun chakra connection can really help with ascension symptoms. It can help bring the energies that want to come in down. So moving down, about a foot below, is the soul star. I often see this one as radiant pink, although their colors shift so much for me now. There's not a set color to them anymore. They're almost just iridescent rainbow. But if you see a specific color, that's great. The soul star is really about the other timelines and lifetimes and karmic energies. So swirl some white light in that soul star. Again, you can move your hand around counterclockwise if you want. Some people like to be physical with it. And as you're checking in with it, just again, see if any images start coming, any other lifetimes. This chakra seems to be quite connected to our Akashic records, our remembering, our veil. So these two, the personal sun and the soul star, are quite key to the openings to ascension and awakening. The next one is behind your head. So this area behind your head, you can move your hand back there if you want to just start to feel it. It's really good to get a feeling yourself. Even if you've never done hands-on energy healing, you will probably feel the edges of your own chakras, and it becomes more and more intimate to you the more you do that. So the causal seems to have a lot to do with galactic consciousness opening, unplugging from the 3D matrix, activation of light languages, star family connection. So that can be very activated by cosmic energies. So often people will talk about pain in the back of their head or their neck or their shoulders. And when I see the causal, it kind of encompasses all of that. So that can be a really helpful one. So give some white light to that chakra. As you do that, you may see some images. Star family, or depending on where you're at in your awakening to that. So these that I'm introducing you to are maybe new to you, maybe not, but it's these three that I often help people get in touch with during sessions. And it's usually a source of some, it's not that they're so much congested, they're just above the veil, so to speak. Even of those who've worked a lot with the 7 main chakras, I consider these kind of like the branches of the tree, and the 7 main ones are the trunk. So if you've been doing a lot of work with your 7 chakras, a lot of trunk work, we could say, that's really good. And there's a lot of benefit to that. And they probably vibrate pretty high. But then we want to include the branches, right? So it's just acknowledging, these are just delineations that are all mental in another way. Because it's really more like a soup of energy vortexes. But it's helpful. So connecting to these 3, swirling white energy through them, when you feel tensions, particularly in the head and neck area, beginning to recognize that. And of course, the next 7 I'm going to move through more quickly because most people are familiar with them. There's the crown at the top of your head. All of these 7 are going through their own upgrading and shifting. Like I said, I'm not seeing the pronounced colors so much anymore, and they're more and more merging together, overlapping vortexes. But again, it can be helpful to feel them separately. So bring white light into your crown, the top of your head. The pineal gland is in there, pituitary glands, they're both upgrading and sometimes can get quite intense with their pain that they cause as they're doing that. So white light in the crown and the back and the causal as well, the back of the head, can be helpful. Bringing white light now to your 3rd eye, 6th chakra, forehead. This, of course, is ongoingly being activated so that we can see beyond and intuit beyond. Bringing white light down now to the throat area. Activation of truth and truth telling, which is so important for soul purpose expression, for light language. You might need to clear a little bit there. Again, you can do your own swirl with your hand, whichever way feels right to you. Or the Reiki positions if you know them. Moving down to the heart chakra, which is moving into the higher heart frequencies. Bringing in white energy to the heart, helping it expand and open. And down to the solar plexus, stomach area, a lot of activations here. This chakra is really being asked to go to the next level, which is from a personal will based to union with divine will. Surrender. So you've had a lot of digestive issues and stomach nausea, that kind of thing. You give extra love to this chakra as it's going through a lot of transition. I really feel chakras very personally and personal with mine. Move the white energy down to your sacral area, womb space for women. A lot of activation here as well. Excuse me. Just feel that white energy coming into your womb space. And for the root chakra, what I'm seeing more and more for that is a root system. So it's like we've got our branches of the tree, our ascension chakras I just introduced you to. Then we have the trunk that so many people have been working on, getting that vibrant. And then we have the root system. So not just this one chakra going down from the base of the spine, but rather a whole system there connected into Gaia. So when you feel that and see that, it's quite expansive. It really shows you and has you feel how grounded you really are. So move the white energy through that root system. You should feel immediately a sense of expansive groundedness in doing that. And starting back at the top, the personal sun, those top branches, just bring the white energy all the way through to the crown, top of the head, and down and out the root. I have some fifth chakra going on, obviously. Do that as many times as it feels good. It's like an energy shower. Just keep the energy through. The more you do it, I think the more fluid it'll feel. Something's moving in that. You feel it, Kalina? Yeah. Yeah, Kalina's doing this, which is also helpful to put your hands above your head and just whoosh. Yeah. I like physical movement.
I can also stand up too and just bring it in.
Yeah, stand up, bring it in. This is what I love about yoga as well, like the positions where your ball above your head, they always say, but really it's the personal sun. Okay. So that is the Ascension Chakra system. I always see a tree. So if that's helpful too. And we'll turn our attention now. I'd like to introduce you to a place that seems to offer a lot of comfort for people and just exploration, which is to see yourself walking on a path through a clearing in the woods. And then you come upon your castle. Now you're all lit up like a big white tree right now. So it's a good energy to be in as you take in this castle, which is however it's meant to look for you. This represents your essence. So you may see a very traditional castle, like from England or Europe. You might see a fairy tale castle. It might be very dark. You might see a house. There's a whole range. Just orient for a minute to this castle. You might see it very clearly, or just have more of a feeling about it, or both. We just put a whole bunch of energy into your chakras, so that should help. You might zoom in a bit to take in some details about the castle and the grounds surrounding it. Does it have a moat? Does it not? Does it have gardens? What kind of brick is it made of, or is it made of crystal? It's amazing to me, all of the details that can come out. And we're going to ask the guard of this castle, maybe you already see them, but your inner protector, to come forward and meet us. And the protector, as I said earlier, may be quite armored. They may show up right away like a knight, or very little armoring, or maybe it's usually masculine, but maybe feminine. And you may see them right away, or feel something more dim or fuzzy. They may also be talking to you right away, saying, asking you why you're here, or being very grateful that you're here. They often are. I hear a lot from them in sessions. It's about time. They like to say a lot of the time, it's about time. I've been waiting for you. So just take in your protector and see if there's anything that they want to communicate to you in this moment. In your heart, of course, is a welcome and a gratefulness to meet them. It can sometimes be very emotional to meet this part of ourselves too. This is the part of you that has always watched over you the best that they could. They often feel like they didn't do enough. And so for the hurts and the pains that you've experienced in this life, they're often very sorry. So you may feel that from them, this kind of remorse or even shame sometimes. Or just distrust. Not of you so much, but just of life. This is a guard, so they have a vigilance. That's their job. In connecting with them more and more consciously, then, as I said earlier, they shift to being more of a guide. Because they know you and parts of you and your soul better than anyone. So they're very important. And we honor them. I am seeing Mary standing on our left side, and then actually Michael, Archangel Michael, on our right. And they're also honoring your protector. And you, thanking you for being here in this moment. Thanking you for your courage to keep going into the shadows, into the pain sometimes, with your hope and desire intact to experience more love. I feel a lot of divine love coming through to sort of wrap you and your protector in a hug, as much as you want to let in. So we will go ahead and start to open your eyes to come back to the present. Hopefully you feel more expanded. That is often the sense from working with the Ascension Chakras, as I mentioned. It's wonderful because it's an expansive feeling up this way, but it's also grounded into the body and then into Gaia. So if you can only do 10 minutes a day, maybe before work or something, I recommend doing that. Visualizing the tree, visualizing yourself as a tree with that big root system and those vast branches that will take a long time to discover all the things that are up there, and to just bring that white energy through and out and down. If you can even just do that, I think you'll feel a relief and a grounding. So I do welcome anyone that would like to share about their experience that they just had with the meditation. And of course, meeting your protector. Maybe you're familiar with your protector, you've done other of my meditations, so that's something you know well, or that was a brand new experience for you. But this is the time if you'd like to share anything that you just experienced. Alana and Nicole said, thank you. You're welcome, Nicole. Thank you for inviting me to do this. I don't know if you want to share anything about what you experienced. That would be wonderful to hear. Yeah, as Kalena mentioned, I have a whole lot more of these. So this was kind of an intro, you could say, a bridge. So if you felt there was much more, the truth is there is much more. So this is the other piece to mention, is that we do one-on-one sessions over Zoom with people, and it's very much like what we just did, but it's collaborative. So I would be asking you, and the other facilitators would be asking you, what did you see? What do you feel? They would be connecting with your protector directly, asking them questions, that kind of thing. So it would open out and it would get more specific to you. Obviously, I just did a very general meditation. I'm amazed though at how much can open out for people, even just in the 10 minutes. Even just the castle can be quite interesting. Mira says, that was so grounding. There were fairy protectors and that surprised me. Thank you so much. Oh, fairies. That's fun. Yeah, there can be. I'm glad you brought that up, because also there can be a group of protectors. Like I've had people, like a group of knights, kind of like Arthur's Round Table, are definitely fairies, also dragons. I mean, you can see here that there's nothing wrong. It's all just information, and seeing fairies this is the other piece I want to add, is that they often show you what they know you'll resonate with or that you'll understand. So most likely, sometimes they show up as a father figure or a mate. They show up in a form from a Disney movie. I've been getting a lot of beasts lately from Beauty and the Beast. So they're trying to bridge to you, similar to Star Family. Star Family will do that as well. I think a lot of times when we feel angels, we're actually feeling Star Family. So kind of whatever it takes to connect with you and to reach out. You're welcome, Sandra. I'm glad you joined us. Nikki says, thank you so much. This is the first time I used my hands to bring in the light during meditation, and I could physically feel and see the light moving through. Yeah, I like doing that too. My energy work with people, I'm moving my hands all the time. I get up in the chakras, which are, again, vortexes coming out this way. So it can be helpful to focus on the one field, but really getting up in them, bringing the light in, is a way to really have it be more visceral and more grounded in the body, for sure. Mira says, I loved being the light tree. Yeah, I like that one too. Yeah, it's really helpful too to feel how vast we are. Nicole, good. I always feel so warm when walking through my forest to my castle, like floating. And I sometimes feel like transferring that energy and light from where I am and going and take it and share it over places at work and go in real life to put that warm energy out to be picked up like I'm oozing. Yeah, if you think about it, you're connecting with your essence, right? You're in a vibration of yourself. So then that's what's going out into the world, whether you're at your job or just going grocery shopping. And if you can bring that energy out, and if you're working with your protector, then there's less guard here over the heart, especially, but everywhere. So there's really this opening out then that happens, that you can be that you can extend to others. Paul's asking, how can I access any awareness of my next incarnation? Well, how I feel it is that our incarnations are happening simultaneously, so that there really isn't a past and a future in that way. That's how our mind relates to it. So our next incarnation, our future self, we could say, is already happening. And it also seems to to be so many infinite possibilities of what that could be. But you could certainly tune into a future timeline. And I have a specific meditation that I did in my 33-day series to connect with, maybe Kalina, I don't know if you know which one I mean. That is so portal timelines. So Kalina will share that video. I'm not sure what day that is, Kalina, but that's helpful. And also we do one-on-one sessions, as I mentioned. I work with women, and Raphael works with men, and Gabriel works with men and women as well. So you can check that out, and that's where we can get more specific for you. Oh, and Kalena too, sorry. Women under 30 is Kalena. That's all on our website, which I believe Kalena has shared also. So Nicole also said, takes me off the path a little from my castle, but I feel the need to share it because it's so overwhelming. Yeah. And you're welcome, Sonia, who thanked me. Gabriel shares, I could feel my mental body as a grid blanket over me and the energy from the sun chakra just dissolving it like syrup. Ooh, that's cool. Yeah, I said very cool. When you mentioned Michael, I got a bolt of energy from him, feeling more sacred masculine activations. That's good for Kalena, who just married him on Saturday. You probably need more, Gabriel. You got a lot to keep up with, don't you? A lot to hold. And Anne says, the protector bowed for me. They often do that. It's really beautiful. Many times I've had the protectors bow to the person they're meeting, especially women. There's this honoring energy that's quite beautiful. Anne says, I visualize myself as very big and the protector is very small. There was a crystal castle by a big, huge tree. Oh, that's beautiful. The crystal castles are really special. Camilla, hello. Beautiful, thank you very much. And I agree, lots of fairy energy present, which is also a sign of strong presence of stellar energies. And I love the power of the group work. Blessings. Yeah, when we all get together like this, even those who will do this later, it doesn't need to be in real time. There is a synergy that happens. I feel myself expanded from that, definitely from when I just do these kinds of things by myself, of course. So we've been doing some more groups in person lately, but you don't even need in person when we're all energetically connected. Nikki says, I have a lot of physical symptoms as my body responds to the energy. And when it was time to go through the clearing, Michael came down and I have understood him to be my inner protector until today, where I felt my inner protector while seeing Michael in the distance. Ah, okay. So many things I can't even articulate. So I will give gratitude for you, Jelelle, and all of you here in the now. Yes, that's that. Okay, so that was an important differentiation for you. Archangel Michael is a higher frequency of protector, of course, but he's not battling anything. A lot of people see him with a sword, but I actually see him with the light. So being this light bringer, and the inner protectors seem to really love Michael. And sometimes they will take the form of him, like I said earlier, in order to comfort you. This is an energy that you're okay with. So that feels like a really important differentiation you just got there. So I'm glad you got it. Mira says, feels so free, spontaneously open without guardedness. Thank you. You're welcome. And that's also the protector resting, just a little bit, able to rest because of the connection. And also Mira thanked me. They were so glad to see me. I was amazed. The Crystal Castle for me too. Yeah, it feels like a lot opened out for you there. So this again is just a bridge to something. It's a little taste of something that as you go deeper, which my series Deepen, if you just did that, you can really expand and grow. So going into, again, meeting, let's see, in that series, you meet the inner child, the inner teenager, the inner mother, the gatekeeper, the inner punisher, your inner protector. We go into sacred sexuality, sacred union within. There's an ascension bodies, energy meditation. There's ascension chakras like we just did. There's divine mother connection. There's divine father connection. My goodness, huh, Kalina? There's healing the sacred feminine and healing the sacred masculine. There's light language activation. There's also meet your star seed child and your star family. So it's deep, and they're all introductions, and some of them you don't have to go in order. Some of them will draw you because you need to do them at this particular time. So that is really what I recommend as a bridge. And then if you feel drawn to a one-on-one session, that's definitely the next level. That's 90 minutes for $55 USD, minimum donation. And there's more information about that on our website, SoulFullHeartWayOfLife.com. You can take in this experience and see where it takes you and where you'd like to go. Let's see, Nicole. Yes, another question from Nicole. Does your castle change? I always see the same one when I go on my journey. I'm just curious if it can change or what the visual stands for. Well, really, the castle is your essence. So, of course, it can change because you change. And what I notice is that it kind of has a steadiness for people for a while. And then as more bridge is made to it, and especially to the parts, and you start meeting the parts of yourself that are inside of that castle, it begins to transmute and transform. And often, of course, become lighter and lighter and brighter. And it's really, really a visualization for your essence, your not necessarily your higher self, but just where you are right now. And this is a good visualization, of course, to meet the protector, because everyone understands a guard that's guarding a castle. So that's another in the deeper work in ongoing sessions. What usually happens is that other multi-dimensional places are identified for people where they, for example, for me, I have a strong connection to Avalon. So that's a place I go rather than my castle. The castle for a long time can be a gathering place. As you meet different aspects of yourself from this life and other lifetimes, it's a place where they can all come together. And that can also shift if you're more galactic. It could be a light ship. I've had someone see tree forts instead of a castle. So again, it's so individual to the person, and based on just where you are right now. So I think we will complete for today, and you are welcome to leave comments after this live stream, and I will respond to them. And thank you again to Nicole for your comments, but also for inviting me to do this. It's nice and wonderful to have the invitation, and it gives me something to respond to. So thank you for all of you that joined me, and hopefully we will connect again soon. Thank you.